To the shock of virtually every ringside observer, Bradley scored a split decision upset, taking a welterweight title away from Pacquiao.
I mean, it was talked about for months. Worst decision in history of boxing, and you name it, man. I was ridiculed, I was demonized, I was hated, dude, I didn't do anything but do my job, man. That's all I did. I went in there and fought my fight, man. That's all I did, and I got all this backlash, and it was horrible, man. A lot of nights, man, I would lay there with my wife and do it, and I would cry. You know, I would cry because of all of the backlash and just I was ridiculed to death, dude. I was laughed at, I was talked about. It was like, you're not a true champion, you're a fake champion, get the belt back, like, just. Man, it was those times where I thought about, like, man, just fuck, man, I don't even want to fight anymore. I'm done with this. I even thought about suicide, man. I was just like, man, it got so hard, I don't even want to live anymore, man. And I'm saying to myself, like, I'm a champion. Like, I'm gonna show everybody, the whole world, what I'm made of. Well, I grew up in North Palm Springs. It was a little, we call it the hood. Little ghetto area out in Palm Springs. My childhood, I had a really good childhood. My father worked very hard to provide, and my father took in many relative kids to, you know, help raise them, because the parents is either on drugs or in jail. But growing up in the neighborhood where I grew up at, it was like you almost had to be a bully, because the young kids, neighborhood, the environment where they grew up in was very tough, rugged. And most of the kids there, they had, you know, a mentality, that thug mentality. So it was like you almost gotta adopt it when you're growing up in the hood, man. You gotta be hard, or the kids is gonna run over you. And so I chose the bully role as a young kid growing up.
Tough kid, live in a tough neighborhood. You can prepare your kids for most anything, but you know, once a kid get behind your back, you know, that's when they have to really, you know, stay true to what you're trying to teach them.
I didn't mind fighting in the street, or fighting in school, or fighting in anywhere. You looked at me the wrong way, I was ready to check you, man. That's just how I was. I was ready to do something to you.
You know, like he told me, he said, hey, Dad, if you hadn't been around, I would have been straight up thug.
You know, working is important, providing for your family is important, but like spending time with your kids as much as possible is very important. My dad worked 365 days a year, but he still made time for me. He still was able to come with me to my fights. He still was able to travel and take me sparring. I mean, my dad always worked around my schedule. So, you know, some folks are not able to do that, but at least if you do it a day or two, and, you know, be able to spend time with your kids, man, you can build a relationship that will last forever. And that's why my relationship with my father is the way it is. At a young age, my dad made me earn everything. So I told my dad, I want a motorcycle. I want a quad. He was just like, man, you can't handle no quad. You're not strong enough for a quad. But yeah, I am. Because my friends had one in the neighborhood, so I wanted one. He's just like, nah, this is the deal. You need to do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups for me every single day. Every day when I get off work, you need to bust down and give it to me. And I said, okay, that's a deal. And they got to a point to where, shit, I would just do 100 straight push-ups, rev them out. And I was 5 and a half, I was gonna be 6 in August, and Christmas was coming. And so I used to just bust them out. And I would roll over, flip over, bam, here. Soon my dad walked through the door, it was like, Dad, come here, come on. And I just hold my feet. As soon as he walked through, hit my sit-ups, push-ups, and I was just naturally strong. So when I went into boxing club, snotty nose, big old shirt, you know, holes all in my clothes, you know, just looking ruthless. The old man that was there, his name was OJ. He's like, "Oh, I need to weigh you." I weighed 72 pounds. And got off the scale, and he looked at me, like, "Stand right there." I was like, all right. He looked at me, felt my arms and everything. You know, he just started like doing, I was like, "Man, what the hell going on? What's this dude doing?" I look at my dad like, "What's this dude doing, feeling on me, man?" And he was like, "Hey," he's like, "You're gonna be a champion." And I was like, "What?" My dad was like, "Get the hell out of here, man. What do you mean you're gonna be a champ? Come on, you don't have to sell this to us. The kid won a box. Come on, man. You tell everybody that." It's like, "No, it's something special about this kid. It's something special about this kid. I don't know what it is." But he was right. I decided to turn pro, found a gym where I was comfortable at, went down and saw Joel Diaz, started boxing, 6 months, transformation.
Coming to me to train him early at the end of his amateur career, I know he was an athlete, very athletic, but he needed that transition from an amateur to pro. You know, it was hard. It was hard to make that change because he's always been fast. He has that speed on his hands, footwork, fast movement.
Then my dad called Promoter Thompson Boxing. They put me on. I was making, first fight, $1,000, 4 rounds. That's what we made, $1,000. That was it. You know, it was no money. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't really any money there, man. They kept bringing me back. They matched me up a little tougher, and knocked the guy out in 18 seconds. And they were just like, "Oh man, we want to sign you." So then they signed me. So then that's when I had signed for $5,000, 2 years, 2-year deal, $5,000. That's no money. That ain't any money. $5,000. Now, granted, I'm out the house already. You know, as soon as I got that $5,000, that's when I left home. I took that money, went and got myself an apartment, and I still was waiting tables. So, you know, to make ends meet, I still was waiting tables before I became champion. When I fought for that championship, I couldn't be denied, man. I didn't have any money. You know, being a man and feeling like a man, I feel like I gotta be the breadwinner. That's just how it is. You know, that's just how I was raised. You know, I gotta work. I gotta provide for my family as a man. And my wife held it down for as much as she possibly can, but you know, ends was not meeting, man. Like I said, I was personal training people just to put gas in the car. They say to win the world championship, you gotta be starving like a dog, man. And I was starving. And I wasn't gonna be denied, man. I was not gonna be denied that night. $14 in my account, or 11, whatever you wanna say. I think it was 14. But I was broke and I had no money in the bank. It was a must-win situation for me. And I knew I was talented, and I knew I had it in me because I was a hard worker. And I knew that I could feed my talent just by working hard and staying consistent. And I mean, I dedicated myself to the sport, man. And it's been so many years, it has to pay off. And I put all of my eggs in one basket. People say not to do that, but I did. I was on a mission, man. I was on a mission. I just kept winning fights and winning fights and winning fights. And when my opportunity came, it was like, 8 Mile, you only get one shot. That's it. You only get one shot, man. That's it. And you got to seize the moment. And that moment was Junior Witter. I seized that moment. And then after that, it was like, now you got to maintain it. When I got the fight, I was surprised. I was happy. I was happy that I got the fight because it was like, dang, I'm finally getting that break. You know, I'm finally, you know, be able to make some income for my family, to be able to put some money away, you know, finally. And getting my opportunity to become world class and become a superstar in the boxing game by beating a great fighter like Manny Pacquiao.
I jumped up and say, shit, we got it. We won the fight. We got this. The whole team was smiling in the corner. We wasn't down like, oh shit, I don't think we don't have it. Nah, the whole team, we knew it.
You know, I wanted to have that rematch right back, you know, running back because of all the negativity that's surrounding the fight. So it didn't happen, and I was pissed off about it because it was like, fuck, man, you know, like all this shit can blow over, all this shit can stop, you know, and I'll have to take all this criticism and go through what I went through, you know, death threats and shit, and just stupid things, man, because people could be mean, man. I didn't have to go through that. If we just run it back, do a rematch, winner takes all, and we squash it, you know, then I can go on with my life. But that didn't happen, man. It was like, he fought Marquez, and then like
back in the days, a champion lose his belt, he wanted to get right back in there to redeem himself. But Pacquiao didn't do that. We had to wait.
When he got knocked out by Marquez, it was like, woo! Now the pressure's off me.
By the time we found out that who was going to fight, because nobody wanted to fight Ruben. He's a dangerous opponent. You know, my son, he don't care who they are. You know, if you on top of the game, guess what? I'm willing to fight you.
I said, I'm gonna fight one of the baddest dudes on the planet, Ruslan Pavannikov. I knew he was tough. I was like, this dude is tough. I seen him fight on ESPN numerous times, knocking out guys. I was like, this kid can fight. I was like, I'm going in, I'm gonna go knock this guy out. That was my goal. My goal was to knock him out. And so, just having that mindset, man, I'm gonna show everybody what I'm made of and what's inside of me. And that's what I did that night, man. I displayed heart, I just displayed will, that's determination, man. So
we had got it, they called and said, well, you want to fight Pacquiao again? Say, Pacquiao just got knocked out. Well, we don't want him. Put him on reserve. We're gonna get the man that knocked him out, Marquez.
I called him. He wanted me. He thought I was damaged goods. He saw the Pavannikov fight. He wanted the 5th title. He wanted that title that I took from Pacquiao. He wanted to fight me. I wanted to fight him. I was offered Pacquiao. I turned it down. I said, no, I want the guy that knocked him out. I want Marquez. And I chose that fight because I knew that he was dangerous, and I knew that I would have to be on my game. And so I did everything that I possibly can to get ready for that fight. I'm telling you, nobody thought I was gonna beat him, man. Everybody thought I was going in there gonna get knocked out because of what I did, what happened in the Ruslan fight. But man, I'm here to tell you, man, I do my homework, man. I do my work, I do my homework, and the bigger the challenge is, the better I become.
So now we don't spank that ass. Now it's time for the redemption.
I just fought the dude that knocked you out, beat him, and that fight was easy, man. The Marquez fight was easy for me. I just fought Ruslan Pavannikov, and I almost got slept in that fight, and I was able to come on strong. I'm like, man, what are you gonna do? Let's go, Pacquiao, come on, it's time. You know what I'm saying? It's time now. And so, I know what happened in the first fight. I ain't making no excuses. What happened, happened. It's okay, it's fine. But I remember after that first round when I fought Pacquiao in the first fight, after that first round, I said, is this the best fighter in the world? I don't think so. I'm the best fighter in the world because I felt like I was superior over him in the first round. I felt like I was able to dictate and do what I wanted to do in the first round. I was like, okay, not a problem. I got this fight. Yeah, I got him. I got him in the bag. So this time around, more experience, way more relaxed, confident, know what to expect. It's a whole different ball game now. He's gonna have to bring something completely different. If he doesn't, I'm telling you, yeah, he's not gonna beat me. He has to bring something completely different. Because if he's the same guy, which I don't think he's the same guy. He has all the ability in the world, but like I said, he don't have that fire. I feel he don't have that fire, but he's supposed to show me. You know, he's supposed to show me. So bring it, bring it, because you know I want you to be your best, and I've been training like an animal, man, like nonstop. And it's our job, man, to put on a show for the fans. All the fans, all the million people watching and get this pay-per-view, man, you know, it's time to show what we've been working on.
Tim Bradley he's a really hard worker. He works extremely hard in the gym. That's why it's so hard to beat Tim Bradley. Me as his trainer, I'm gonna tell you, I've seen fighters with better technique, better boxing technique than Tim Bradley, but they don't work as hard as Tim Bradley. You know, Tim is not the most talented fighter in the sport, but the will of training hard is what keeps him standing. Tim is so hard to get beat because he works extremely hard. He takes no for an answer.
You know, a lot of people these days, they don't like to take risks, man. They like to be, you know, that's too much risk. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm a risk. I want to take the risk, biggest. Give me the biggest, the baddest. Bring it on. You know what I mean? Because the reward is even that higher. So Mayweather being the top dog in boxing, I would embrace that fight with open arms. You know, I would do it with open arms. But we know that the boxing business has changed now, and if he wants to fight me, I'll fight Mayweather any day, anytime, any place, anywhere.
We'd love to have that fight, but right now, we taking one at a time. April 12th. It's the only thing we're looking at right now. Mayweather, we can do whatever we want to do, but when we take care of this on April 12th, we can talk.
My goal is to become #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the game. And that's my motivation, man. My motivation is that. My motivation is my kids, you know, building a empire for my family. You see what I'm saying? So like, I want my kids to go to college, and they kids to go to college. So like, when I leave my legacy and I leave my mark with my home and what I done for the Bradley family, you know, I want generation after generation after generation after generation to see what I left everybody. So that's my goal. That's me and my wife's mission, man. Me and my wife's mission is to build an empire for our kids. Get all of our kids to college, get them through school, okay? And whatever we leave them at the end of our life, they'll teach their kids, and they'll just go generation after generation, but money will always be in the family.